Hi everyone, welcome to 2 for Tuesday, where I take one ingredient and use it for 2 reasons. My name is Sarah, and this is
Loris!
And this is
Joshua.
And welcome to our kitchen. So, school time, right? We're looking for some great afternoon snacks for when the boys get off the bus, because usually what happens when you get off the bus? That's right, they're super hungry. And I want to give them something that's really filling, but also kind of healthy, because I don't want it to ruin their dinner. But this is super easy to make and super easy to do. Now, it has to do with apples. And you can use any kind of apple that you want, but we're going to be making some apple chips. We were kind of inspired because we went on a vacation and we had some apple chips on the plane. And then I went to purchase them again, and they were super expensive. And I was like, hey, we could do that, right? So do that. So, what you're going to do, now I have a mandolin here because my knife skills are not stellar, but you're going to want to preheat your oven to 275.
And do not let your kids do this. Warning, safety hazard, warning, safety hazard. Do not try this at home, otherwise your hand will get cut off.
That's right. I have told them that they will die if they handle this kind of thing, because it is dangerous. You can slice these very, very thin. Get them as thin as you can. One trick that you can start off with is you just kind of cut off the bottom and then make your slices that way. You can core the apple if you want to, or you can cut the center out, or I found that, that's my skink, I found that you can, the hard part really becomes soft in the oven, so I just pretty much make sure there's no seeds in it. Now, I have this wonderful thing called a metal glove. If you have one of these, or if your knife skills aren't as great as they are, like mine, highly recommend. They're about 10 bucks. You won't die. There is a safety guard for this, but because I have the glove, I'm going to use it. I've set it to the thinnest slice. Done. And we're just going to make it go back and forth, and it's pretty easy. And yes, your kids will be highly tempted to use the mandolin because it's, move your fingers, this is not cool. Because it is a cool machine and it does really cool stuff. But even with the glove and me being careful, my hand will still get in there from time to time. So I'm going to take this and move it to the side. Why don't you show them how thin it is?
Look at how thin it is, guys.
And it even takes out the seeds.
Yep, it takes out the seeds too. And then what we're going to do, and Joshua's going to demonstrate this, is he's just going to wipe the seeds off a little bit. And we're going to put them in a bowl. So Josh, just take these. You can just take them all. Just make sure there's no seeds. I'm going to go ahead and take off my glove while we're talking about this.
I think some of them got cut.
Yeah, probably just a little bit. I'll help you out.
It's kind of like stars.
They look like stars. And definitely you can cut that part out. It's really no big deal. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of cinnamon. You can use whatever kind of cinnamon you want. I'm a big fan of Venetian cinnamon. It has like a little bit more potent taste to it, and it's just, if you could smell it, our house smelled amazing while we were making these. And Joshua, that's enough for right now because we're going to use this for our second thing. So can you put your hands in there and toss it around?
This is a great opportunity to get your hands messy.
This is very true. And then we just have a,
Look at this brown one.
yeah. We just have a pan lined in parchment paper. You don't have to spray it or anything like that. And then you're going to layer it. I found that we kind of experimented this morning, and we found that if you lay them kind of on top of each other, they do stick together. They'll still taste fine, but if you want them individually and don't want them sticking, make sure it's a single layer. And this goes into the oven for 45 minutes on one side. Halfway through, you flip them over, and then let them go for another 45 minutes. And they come out great. Hey, Loris, why don't you get our final product? Joshua, that's okay, you have hands.
Look at these.
Why don't you eat one and show them how crunchy it is?
Hear this.
Well, come over here. They can't see your face.
And these are dirty hands.
Well, thank you, Joshua.
Oh, wait, this one's not crunchy.
Well, they do somewhat become a little soggy after a little bit. We're still experimenting with this, but it's a lot easier and nicer, especially if they're fresh out of the oven. They're super crisp. And it's a lot better than just dried apples because they do really have that crisp taste to them. And I I don't know, 3 batches of them. There's like 3 little bowlfuls of these. And it was less than...
Mom, can I have a plain one?
You want to play one? Sure. It was less... It was less than, it was like $2.50 to make the whole thing, and it made 3 great snacks. Really only 2 apples is all we needed. But our next snack that we're going to make is something for when your kids are really hungry and say dinner's going to be later on after soccer practice. This is a great one to make. So we're going to set these apples aside since we already have them sliced. And Loris, can you get our handy dandy things here? Okay, Josh, can you take this and put it on the counter over there so we have room? So these are where'd you go? These are apple and cheese quesadillas. And I'm using corn tortillas because I have a little skillet, but you can definitely use whole wheat. That will help them feel a little bit fuller longer. My kids like the corn, and you know, it's kind of fun. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take one and put it on the plate and... What?
Can I start playing these?
Yeah, you can go ahead and plate them. Loris, you're going to put a little bit of cheese at the bottom. Like so. Yep. And then you're going to layer a few of these on.
I'll make it pretty.
We'll make it pretty, okay. Well, you're not, okay.
We're food critics now.
Oh, they're food critics now. I like pairing cheddar with apples, but definitely, especially if you're making grown-up ones, brie is a really great one as well to use with apples. And then you're going to put a little bit of cheese on top. Because that's going to help the tortilla and the apples stick together. I kind of like to use the cheese as the glue.
Look at these apples. They look like a flower.
Okay, I'll bring it back here. You're going to get, oh, no, they're here. Sorry. One on top. And then I have put a skillet on medium-high heat. Probably medium, and I just kind of watch it. And I flip it over halfway through until the cheese is melted. Loris, that pan is hot. Don't touch it that way. That's right.
This is the final product.
This is the final product.
Can't eat
but
it.
yeah, I'm going to show you a trick really quick. I'm just going to stick that there. So, you know, you're trying to get this thing in here. Easiest way, it's a my mom hack, is you take the pan off the stove.
And then you flip it over.
And then you flip it over like that. And then the same thing, when it's done on that side, you turn it, and then it'll all stick by that point, and you can just slide it easily into the pan. So this is probably a little bit more supervised snacks than anything else, just because you are dealing with knives, and if you have a mandolin, you're dealing with a mandolin. But the kids can definitely put it together once everything is sliced if they want to do it themselves, or you make them the day before. So Joshua, or Loris, we use a pizza cutter for the tortillas. You got to push down hard, because my pizza cutter is not very sharp. It's not sharp.
It's not handy.
It's not handy too.
Can I taste one?
Yeah, let's go for it. Is that good?
Balance between sweet and savory is good.
The balance between sweet and savory is good. So you have fruit, you have a little bit of protein from the cheese, and if you use corn or whole wheat, you get a little bit of grains in there. I prefer whole wheat, but you know, sometimes the corns are just as easy, and as long as you're checking the packaging, they're gluten-free as well. But super easy. These ones, if you have an older kid like this one, can probably make them on the stove just fine by themselves. So, what do you guys think? You like these too? You're making a mess? I guess they really like it because it's gone. So I didn't even get a taste.
We have this for dinner?
We'll have we can do that.
You can have a taste.
It's quite all right. So I take your word for it. I'm one of those who I don't like people drinking after my cup. So anyway, I'm sure it's good. But anyway, we hope these become family favorite of yours. Super easy, super quick. The apple chips probably keep I would say in a Ziploc bag for probably about a week, if they even last that long. They're great substitute for, you know, your regular chips and your kids' lunches too. So we hope you're having a great day, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. And actually, if you think apples and cheese are deadly bad combination, it's actually pretty good.